See, emotions in this dimension, we feel them. We say we see them, but we don't. They're there, but have you ever actually stopped to ask why they exist? Like, what's the reason behind emotions? Humans always do this. You throw a stone and then you ask yourself why it went that far. You calculate how much force was behind it, or how much more force you'd need next time to make it cross a certain line. But with emotions, you never ask about the force that pushed it. You only see how far it went and the intent behind it. You never stop and ask why you felt it in the first place. That's how the human brain works. Mine did too. We track outcomes, not origins. Now think, have you ever made an emotional decision? Don't jump to the big things. You do every day. Every time you feel something and then say something, there's a hidden process behind it. But it's so common now, it's running in your muscle memory. First you feel, then you decide, then you speak. Even if you think you're speaking straight from emotion, you're not. Your brain has already auto-processed it before you speak. It's a system, a fast one, and it works based entirely on your experiences. That's where the problem begins. You're bound by your past experiences. You react based on what you've already gone through, not what's actually happening. And now you might ask, okay, but why does that matter? Well, think who gave you those experiences. Was it just you, alone? No, it was the world around you, other people, situations, environments, moments you didn't even choose. So, if your experiences come from outside you, and your emotional decisions are based on those experiences, then ask yourself, are those emotions really yours, or are they just responses you inherited? Why does everything feel like a mess? Why do you feel like a mess sometimes? We say we see emotions, but do we? No, we feel them. So then why do we feel something we can't even see? Why do we feel that ache so physically in the chest, the throat, the stomach? Why does it react with the body so perfectly? Because the human body is actually a fourth-dimensional vessel. But the thing is, we're only allowed to understand and see what's below us, never what's equal or above. And that's why emotions are so misunderstood. They're like threads running through the body. They can't be seen, but they can be touched and even manipulated. That's what happens in the fifth dimension. There, emotions can be reshaped by thought, by what we call overthinking in this dimension. In the fourth dimension, things shift. Time isn't a line anymore. It becomes a place. Instead of saying, "Where were you?" you ask, "When and where were you?" That's how time behaves in 4D. It's spatial, but even there, they can't fully access emotions like we do. They don't feel it the way we feel it. They can only see the flow, the direction it's going, the probable outcomes. They observe. They predict. They don't feel like we do. But in the fifth dimension, it's different. There, they can actually touch those threads. They can reshape emotional outcomes, rewind and redirect paths, and even look across multiple versions of reality at once to see what these emotions will do. It's like having full access to the blueprint. While we're stuck inside the building, feeling everything without knowing why. We'll get deeper into this soon. But for now, just understand. The pain you feel, the chaos in your body, the mess in your chest. It's not a weakness. It's proof you're anchored in a vessel that can feel what even higher dimensions can only study. And that makes you powerful in ways they can't be. Learning isn't enough. Even knowing isn't enough. It's all about perspective. Each dimension, it's not just a place you visit through some portal. It's a way of seeing. You could be handed something beyond value, something rare, powerful, eternal. And yet it could still be useless to someone who doesn't have the perspective to understand it. Take the Tesseract. You've probably heard of it. People think it's an object. Some think it's a power source. But the truth is, it's neither. It's not an object. It's not a thing. It's a perspective. One we can't fully see or grasp yet. So we try to represent it with shapes and models to make it digestible for the human mind. But that's just an approximation. It's not the real thing. I know it. I feel it. And that word, feel, that's the real power. Feeling is more powerful than your guns, your machines, your missiles. And we still don't see emotions the way we should. Everything begins when two things are in motion. When decisions start spinning. Once they collide, the outcome is already locked. It doesn't matter how much force you apply after, you won't even see what hit you. That's what words do. They move fast. They cut deep. They leave that ache behind. And you never really saw them coming. So what's the issue? It's not just about being emotional. It's about a lack of understanding. It's about a flawed decision-making system. It's the underestimation of feelings, how they work, how they're formed, how they create reality. Dimensions help us measure. They give us a way to assign value, But at the end of it all, what's left? Emotion. I'm not going into philosophy here, I'm giving you something practical. You felt it a pull towards someone. You don't even remember the words they said. You can't recall every event, but the feeling stays. Words fade. But don't get it wrong, words aren't meaningless. They are the foundation of emotions. They start the chain. They're the first move in the dimension of feeling. My words, this entire message. You might remember it for a while. You might forget parts of it eventually. But if you hold on to this feeling, you'll have the map. Not in the sentence I gave, but in the perspective I unlocked. Live your life by the perspective I gave you, not just the words I said.